world on him after proving to himself to be a dangerous monster in the ring with a resume drastically improving each successive fight.
And you have to take on him first, you know? It's just one of those things. You have to get him before it gets used. Similar to be the gladiator, I suppose.
Next up is the former WBC champion and all-time great Ken Norton in a battle of the boldest. Can the gentleman Gerry take out Hercules reborn, or will Ken Norton harness the power of Zeus and electrify this prospect into an early retirement? Welcome back to Boxing After Dark. Tonight, we'll look at an undisputed legend of the ring's final hour between the four ropes, and an up-and-coming star as he reached for a higher purpose in one of the most significant heavyweight matchups of the 80s. Gerry Cooney's story progressed like all good tales, as a man from humble beginnings made his way onto the bright lights with an ever-growing crowd of fans, and as his list of spectacular knockouts grew, so did his yearning for a shot at the top.
So I think that a lot of people related to me and the underdog. It was like the Rocky story being lived.
His first glimmer of hope as a contender came with his great performance against Jimmy Young, a man known for putting the great George Foreman into a 10-year retirement. After that quick but effective showing, people began to see his tall, ungainly character as someone more than just your average Joe. Next up, and his most recent fight, was the wake-up call for all who didn't believe in Gerry Cooney. His first-round destruction of the great Ron Lyle. Gerry Cooney had his hook, and his hook alone. But in a sport where just one punch can change the outcome of everything, Cooney knew he had what it took to become a champion. But when Ken Norton was announced as his next fight, for the first time in his life, a glimmer of fear was seen in the eyes of Gerry. There was no denying that Ken Norton was on a downward spiral in his career, having 2 losses in his last 5 fights. One in the already mentioned bout with Larry Holmes, and his other being a first-round blowout from the great Ernie Shavers himself. But Ken Norton never shied away from a challenge, and he could never be counted out unless the ref himself was doing it as he was on the ground.
I'm an underdog. I'm supposed to be too old. I'm supposed to be out of shape. And I'm supposed to be a bit too slow. And I haven't fought once in the last 2 years.
Gerry Cooney was to be his final statement. Gerry feared what could await him in that ring until the day they got inside it. And then, over the course of minutes, everything changed.
Chosen reach and all the other measurements. Round 1 underway. Norton on the right, Cooney on the left. 10 rounds, 3 knockdown rule is in effect. The bell cannot save you the man. A right hand buckled the knees of Norton by Gerry Cooney. First punch of the fight buckled Norton's knee. Left hand to the stomach, and another right hand, the side of the head of Norton, stands on the rope. Left hand to the heart by Cooney. Norton bangs away now at Cooney in Norton's corner. And another left hand scores it again. The legs of Norton wobble. Norton turns his own corner. Cooney trying to measure. Misses two uppercuts with scores. With combinations of left hand, Norton straight up. Norton is about to drop. Norton is on his knees and finally slumps in the corner. He is not going to get up from this. The fight is over in 54 seconds. And if there was ever any doubt as to the punching power of Gerry Cooney, Ray Leonard, I think that doubt was put to bed right here.
Well, I hit him with a straight right hand. And I saw him back up on the rope. Making sure that he could, cautious at all times. And if I see him open, this is when work this plan.
In the years following this highly publicized war, Cooney's been very open with his trials, tribulations, and experiences with his run as a professional boxer. And one of his most often talked about fights always comes down to Ken Norton.
On all the front pages of the news the next day, it said 4 punches from death, and I believe that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he was stuck on the rope, but once I seen his body go limp. Once I spun him into the corner, and I caught up with his timing, his bobbing and weaving, I hit him with that uppercut, and he just went faint. It was all over.
Ken Norton unfortunately died in 2013 after a series of strokes in his later life. But over the years, he had been a magnificent figure for all he knew, winning 2 awards as Father of the Year by the Los Angeles Times and proclaiming it to be his most outstanding achievement.
As a kid, when you were youngster, were you in fights?
I had one fight when I was 17 that lasted about 2 hours. We fought a while, we rested, fought a while, we rested.
Norton was a great man, and one that whoever knew him would strive to be more like. And despite him no longer being on this plane of existence, his legend